So earlier in the summer, I made a video talking about DRM on the Microsoft Xbox Series X console, and we talked about how most games that were installed from physical media required an online check in order to complete its installation and be able to be run. Now, we tested a bunch of different games, including Resident Evil Village, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and the consensus was none of these games would actually work. There was a few outliers, with Balan Wonderworld being a smart delivery game that was able to be installed and run without any online connectivity check. And of course, anything that is not a smart delivery disc, in other words, a game that is denoted with the Xbox Series X logo on the case, such as Grand Theft Auto 5, was also able to be installed and played in its entirety. However, the majority of games that you find that you will want to play physically will either be smart delivery discs or Xbox One games that have some type of backward compatibility layer associated to it. And unfortunately, most of these games, I would say 95% of them, do not work without an online connectivity check if you're trying to install and play these games offline. But the good news here is Microsoft has indeed listened to the concerns of the community and come up with a solution that allows you to install most, not all, but most Xbox One and Xbox Smart Delivery discs on an Xbox Series X without any type of online DRM check. Today's video is brought to you by Surfshark VPN. With internet privacy being such a huge deal these days, it's more important now than ever to protect yourself. With Surfshark VPN, you can easily hide your IP address and encrypt all data that you send and receive. You can easily switch regions to other countries in the world. This means not only your true IP address and identity is masked, it also means you can get around any annoying geolocation locked video content. You know, the ones that say, this video isn't supported in your country? This can get annoying for me when I want to watch local Aussie news. With Surfshark VPN, I can switch my country to Australia and this problem simply goes away. When I'm researching my videos, because of the nature of my channel, sometimes I need to access older unsecured websites of modding and the underground, and I feel safer knowing that my true IP address is not exposed to these sites. Surfshark VPN also allows you to connect to unlimited devices simultaneously on a single account, and this includes Windows devices, Linux, Android, iOS, Amazon Fire TV, and much more. Surfshark VPN has an awesome offer on right now. If you sign up at surfshark.deal/MVG, you will save 83% off and receive 3 extra months for free. And if you think it sucks, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, which will give you plenty of time to try out Surfshark VPN risk-free. So this story was first brought to my attention about a week ago when YouTuber known as Hikikomori Media made a video that Microsoft had fixed their DRM problem. And for those that haven't seen it, please check it out. Link is in the description below. It's a great video. Essentially, he tested some Xbox One and Smart Delivery discs, and surely enough, they all worked and booted offline without an internet connection. A few days later, Xbox engineering lead known as Eden Marie tweeted, "Yes, this is true since the 2206 update. We examined data since Xbox Series S and X launch and determined the online compatibility check isn't needed in a vast majority of cases for Xbox One discs. Some games may still need to be updated online after install to ensure the best experience." Now for me, I decided to revisit this and test this out for myself with the last batch of games that I was testing previously. First off was Crackdown 3. Now this game is an Xbox One only game and would not run offline as it needed to go online to complete its installation despite the full game on disc. And with my Xbox Series X disconnected from the network, the game runs fine without an issue. Now just to make sure that my Xbox didn't do any game updates or anything in the background, I installed a completely new game, and that was Mafia Definitive Edition. This is an Xbox One only disc again, and it lets me install as normal and even starts the game early. Of course, this still needs to install the entire game on disc to get into its campaign, but as you can see here, there's no smoke, no mirrors. This disc runs perfectly fine on my Xbox Series X without a network connection. I went back and tried some other smart delivery games. Resident Evil Village was another game that didn't work previously, and it runs fine on my Xbox Series X without network connectivity. However, one drawback is that most smart delivery discs will only contain the Xbox One version on disc, and you will still need to download the Series X version online if you want the updated and enhanced version. And this is rumored to be because Microsoft still uses 50GB disks and there is simply no room to hold both versions on disk, so they opt for the lowest common denominator that runs everywhere. And this is also consistent with my findings with Balan Wonderworld. Because the game itself is only 15GB in size, it's possible to keep both versions on disk, which means that this game can install its Xbox Series X version on disk, and this is exactly what was happening in my experience. Hopefully, Microsoft can push to update their disks to 100GB and offer customers the choice of what version they want to install from disk. Now, of course, backward compatible Xbox 360 and OG Xbox games will still require a connection to the internet. And this is because, in this instance, it requires a pull down of the backward compatibility version from Microsoft servers. You're not actually playing and using what's on these physical media disks, rather just a license to download and play the back compat version. And of course, it goes without saying that any game that you downloaded on Game Pass will not work without an internet connection check, and this is simply because the servers need to authenticate that you still have a valid Game Pass subscription. So there's really no surprises here. And that's really all there is to say. This just works, and it's something Microsoft should have done years ago, but in my tests, all the games that I've tried to date do install and run offline. There are some games that will never work, such as Halo Infinite, as what's on the disc doesn't amount to much, but overall, this is a very good step Microsoft has taken for its customers. Having peace of mind that I can play my Xbox One discs offline anywhere is awesome stuff. So there you have it. Microsoft indeed listened to the community and acted appropriately, and I'm very happy to see this. You know, this is not something that I want to just make negative videos on. You know, people often tell me that, you know, you're wasting your time talking about these DRM issues because they're not even issues at all. And I think that is a very narrow-minded mindset to have, especially when it comes to talking about preservation. So the end result of what's happened here is we can now feel safer that we can step ahead generations, you know, multiple generations ahead, where maybe the Xbox Series X and the Xbox One are no longer connected to Xbox Live. Maybe there's something else, you know, years from now that the new generation of console ends up using as its online connectivity, knowing that we can still play these games offline. And that's really the result that I'm looking for here. Being able to walk into a store, even though these games are no longer around, into the used market and purchasing these games, knowing that you're able to play these games offline. And ultimately, you know, it's a great result. I think, you know, for people like myself that is very big on talking about anti-DRM and preservation, I'm very happy to see this, and I think a lot of people are as well. Look, this is not the, you know, the be-all, end-all of Microsoft's DRM problems. There are other issues with the Xbox in general that they still, I would like to at least still that they're thinking about taking a look at and maybe relaxing in some way. But I am very happy with this result, and it's made me feel more comfortable about recommending Xbox One and Xbox Smart Delivery physical media to people once again. There was a point in time where I didn't really feel like it was appropriate to do so because you were never able to play these games in an offline environment. But now I can absolutely recommend it, you know, if you are looking to do that. But I'm going to leave it here for this episode, guys. Look, I'm very happy that Microsoft has done this, and I did want to make a video and just commend them for what they've done. This was a no-fuss solution. They just kind of went in and just made this change. They didn't like really make a big deal about it. They just did it, and I'm very happy to see that. And I think the community is as well. We can finally start to preserve these Xbox One and these smart delivery games for generations to come. And that is a very, very good thing. But we are going to leave it here for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, don't forget to put a like on it, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye for now.
We'll be right back.